Hey boys and girls, Mr. Tim here. We miss seeing you guys here at Fellowship. So today we want to talk to you about Jesus' power. Today there's a lot of people that are scared and very fearful of what's going on. But we want to talk to you that Jesus' power calms our fears. Now, being scared isn't new. We find that it's happened in the Bible several times. And so we want to look at a story today that Jesus' friends were scared, but we also see that Jesus' power calms their fears. If you want to follow along in your Bible, we'll be in Mark 4:35 through 41. And in this story, we find Jesus and his friends getting on a boat across the Sea of Galilee. And a storm started. And it raged really crazy to where waves started coming across the boat. And Jesus' friends got really scared. So they ran down below deck where Jesus was asleep. And they woke him up. And they said, "Jesus, we need your help." And Jesus woke up and spoke to the storm and said, "Silence, be still." During this point, Jesus' friends were not afraid anymore because we see that Jesus' power calms their fears. So we're going to do an experiment together to show that Jesus calms our fears. And so here I have with me this glass container. This glass container is me and it is you. It represents our bodies. And so I want to set it here. I also have some baking soda. This baking soda represents the fear in our lives. And so our lives, we have lots of fear. We don't just have just a little. We actually have a lot, so we'll pour a lot of fears in our lives. Some of us have fears that are just hidden, sitting down in there that we don't want to tell people about. So we'll put a little bit more in there like this. Now, when we have fear just sitting in our lives, we got to find some way to push it out. And so here, this is where the vinegar comes in. The vinegar is Jesus. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take Jesus and pour Jesus into our lives and see how he pushes fear out of our lives. So we'll pour some vinegar, Jesus in our lives here. And he pushes it out just like that. Now, you might be thinking there's still some fear sitting in there. So what's going on? Well, when we still have fear in our lives, we can continue to pour more and more of Jesus into our lives. And he keeps pushing and pushing it out. And so here we can see that Jesus calms our fears and pushes it out of our lives. Just the way that this reacts is the same way that Jesus acts in our lives to calm our fears and to calm our hearts. How awesome is it that we can have a relationship with Jesus and he calms all of our fears? No matter how big or how small, Jesus' power calms our fears. So we have a memory verse for this week, and that is Isaiah 41:13. It says, "For I am the Lord your God, who takes hold of your right hand and says to you, 'Do not fear, I will help you.'" So this is what I want you to do. I want you to memorize this verse as a family. Find creative ways to learn it together, challenge each other to quote it back and forth, but memorize this verse together as a family. Secondly, we're going to create new thankful journals. And so we want to challenge you guys that each week come back to it and we're going to draw a picture or write something in that journal. And so for this week, we want you to write a picture of how Jesus has calmed your fears. And so lastly, we have some discussion questions that we want to give to you that you and your family can start talking about and start going deeper with this lesson for today. Our first question is, what are you scared of? And how can you trust in Jesus to calm those fears? How did Jesus show his power in Mark 4:35 through 41? And how do you think it made his friends feel? Do you think Jesus can do that for you? Thank you guys for joining us for this kids portion of our service. Stay tuned at 10:30 as our main service gets kicked off. We look forward to worshiping with you in person again. Have a great day.